Good morning, everybody. Let's see. New York Patriot. You have to find me on Trolling News Network. We got a strike on the original MarkZ YouTube. Heck, I haven't checked it. We probably have 10 more since then, and it's gone forever. Who knows? Make certain if you haven't figured it out yet, get on over to Trolling News Network. Hello, Jane. Hello, SJG. Hello, Country Chick and Skeeter. Hello, Woodsy. Hello, Carla. All right. Coffee's especially extra needed. Does anybody else have a tough time with that whole transition to daylight savings? It always takes me a few days, maybe a week to get used to it. Hello, Bazian One. Hello, Ben. Hello, Viva Libre. Will Monday be Fund Day? I like that one. Monday Fund Day. We'll see. It's been awfully quiet going into this morning, but we will discuss how quiet in just a moment. Give everybody a chance to get here. Nancy's birthday. Happy birthday, Nancy. Skeeter. See, I agree. Coffee is exceptionally good this morning. Sorry, just saw that one, Jay Branch. At least wear a shirt close to yellow. If I keep doing my own laundry, it'll be yellow soon enough. Don't worry. But I think U-Turn's birthday today as well. Happy birthday, U-Turn. Hello, Arky Great Wolf. Hello, Farmer. It's good to see you. Oh, wait, is the Spoon Lady in the house? I hope and pray she is. It would be a pleasant surprise for the day. Hello, Kate Kitty. Well, you Frank, Miss Tina, Booger. Denart, dude. That's Charlene. See, you're getting it, Charlene. Got out the really big coffee mug this morning. Mike G, I thought I got up at 8:30 yesterday, but it was 9:30 and no coffee. I like that one. Community coffee between roast this morning. Hello, Tropigal. Hello, Evelyn. Wait, somebody said happy anniversary? Somebody having an anniversary and then it was gone. Tusk, I'm with you. Clock says 10, body says 9. But it's backwards. I'm tired early. I was tired last night. Then I wanted to sleep in. What's up with that? Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I should have paid attention to that AARP flyer. Hello, more or less young, although AARP is in the midst of a what should I call this? A subscription route. Too many folks that are older have decided that AARP doesn't follow them politically anymore, and they are bailing on their memberships because the whole reason you joined was so that they would represent your best interests, and now they're just a political mouthpiece for the left. So yeah. So I'm glad I didn't waste any time or money, right? Hello, Awake. Hello, Milton. Charlotte. Big, see, exactly. Makita gets it. Big contributors. I remember the romper room there. Hello, Ken. It's looked out the window in the front door to check the roof next door for frost. Had to look twice because I couldn't see the first time to realize it was still dark outside. Maybe your eyes are just getting bad there, CN, right? You're like squinting. Oh, daggone it. Time changed. Let's see. Oh, God, I like this one. Outcome is income. Hebrews in the Bible means my husband makes, or it could be husbands. You might have multiple. Heck, in today's world, who knows? Husband makes me coffee every morning. I like that. So for the devotional now, it's Hebrews. Cold Sarasota. Chilly in the house. I'm actually shivering. I was expecting it to be a bit warmer this morning. Robert, good morning, America, and all the ships at sea from Dallas, Texas. Morning, Robert. Zamco, Bernard, what is going on? Let's see, make no mistake, the high gas prices, soaring inflation, and empty store shelves are a direct result of Putinomics. Oh, God, hold on here. Let me mute this for a All right. Now I'm back again. I love that one. Andrew, we'll dive into the news. Not much of it. Pretty much a nothing burger overnight. But we do have a few things to look for today. All right, I'm going to try to find the banners. My redemption contacts have a meeting this morning, an all hands on meeting that was starting, matter of fact, about 8 minutes ago, just looking at the clock over here. Hopefully, we will have some fantastic news coming out of that one. I also have bond folks with appointments at 2 p.m. That is Pacific Reno time today for updates. Very much a nothing burger. I don't know if the Iranian strike in Iraq has caused any type of delay or not, because I have not been able to get a response out of my best two contacts on the ground in Iraq. So at this point, we are suffering from a Monday morning just news blur. Should have more news throughout the day today to find out if we are still on track, because I know the goal in Iraq was for today. So I will keep you guys posted as it moves forward. If necessary, we'll do a mid-afternoon stream instead of waiting till 7, but it will be based on the news. Keep an eye on Twitter. Probably don't waste your time looking for me on Getter, because I'm pretty ticked off with them as they have decided to ban RT and some other news sources. And I just cannot get on with that whole censorship thing. Just not a fan. Now in my own private room, I only censor dickheads. Everybody else is welcome to comment as long as they do it well-intentioned and nicely. All right. Wish I had more for you guys, but it is very much a Monday blackout coming out of the news with people quiet. So your biggest news is we have appointments, one at 10 with a redemption, one at 2 this afternoon with bond folks. Hopefully we will have a much better and clearer picture today. Oh, Bidenomics. I don't know, Derek. Always the concern when we hear Monday, Tuesday. Sure, absolutely, but I'm not feeling that based on what we have seen out of Iraq for the last literally 2 weeks as they are trying to get that government set. I am not looking for nothing burgers. This to me does not in any way feel like the old rigmarole that we've lived through for years now. Monday, Tuesday, drags during the week. Okay, not the weekend. I don't feel that at all. I'm not getting that. The Redemption Center meeting is at 10 this morning, yes. And it's like an all hands on staff meeting. It's not an individual going for a redemption or anything. Yeah, all right. Let's talk about the important things in the world. Tom Brady is back. Does that mean that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be back too? Hey, psych, really didn't. I'm waiting for April 1st to see who else is back. Or maybe Tom was just getting ahead for April. What do you guys think? Now, I've not heard this. I assume you mean New Zealand. I've not heard anything on that one, Barbara. Although I do like your picture. I love flying ultralights. Haven't done that in years. I need more of that in my life. Let's see. Saw a video earlier. Not sure what to make of it. I've not heard that one on the Venezuela one. I know that the U.S. government is trying to pressure Venezuela, but I had to ask myself, and it's just a curiosity. With the world a mess right now, everybody is like picking their own little piece of the party or the game. Russia taking Ukraine, maybe China's going to take Taiwan. With that whole thought, why doesn't the U.S. just bounce on down and take Venezuela, right? I mean, everybody's getting what they want. I don't know. What do you guys want? Maybe we should take Hawaii, turn it red, hang out there in the tropics. Maybe we should all converge on Puerto Rico and take it. I'm just curious with all this realigning around the world. What's next? Let's see. Joanne said Mike Barr Saturday night was told RT being banned has nothing to do with YouTube or Getter, that it is a Starlink issue and a good thing. I'll have to reach out to Mike today, because Getter certainly has removed them. And we've got some more interesting things. Roger, free Venezuela, yes. Brady comes back because A-Rod came back. Andrew, brother, we're here for you. We'll take Australia, bring it back in, right? I like it. Mary, take Canada. Steve wants to know what happened to the whales. Majority of them are still there. Probably 2/3 have opted to stay because they believe it's close. Now, keep in mind, Steve, that majority of these whales are very wealthy outside of these currencies. So for them to spend extended amount of time hanging in a hotel or hanging out with their friends while they wait for this, no big deal for them. Now there are, probably 1/3 of them that are folks that had money, and this has drained them considerably. But the overwhelming majority, and I've talked to a couple of them over the last few days, are still sitting there, still prepared because they believe it is that close. Who's he playing for? He is going back to Tampa Bay. Salt and Mud. Pfizer is not taken off yet. They have filed the paperwork to be removed. Isn't that interesting? I love this one. Yes, I believe that is exactly, Zamico Bernard, what has happened. I think some of the whales have beached themselves in Reno and Zurich and Hong Kong. And a few of them have actually beached themselves in Miami, which certainly makes more sense. Oh, man. Love you guys' sense of humor. Maybe they'll trade him to San Fran for Jimmy. Yeah, there's still chatter going around Pittsburgh that Garoppolo is going to be wearing black and gold this season. Right now, they're still floating that it's going to be Mason Rudolph or Rudolph Mason. Yeah, whatever. But I don't see that one. Could be surprised, but I don't see it. The 2008 Zim and 2009 AAs and ABs are what I have been told are the good ones. Somebody just asked that, and it went too quickly for me to see who said it. But at least I got to see the chat. All right, it's going so quickly I can't see it all. Let's see. I just clicked on this one. Mark, can you explain? Maybe that's what I should do. I should just start randomly clicking, and whatever it stops on is the question I try to approach or try to deal with. Mark, can you explain how the RV is going to include the other currencies? Because I only hear talk of the dinar. Probably your best bet would be to go back and listen to an old Mr. C on the whole gold treaty to really explain it. It includes them because the whole world is moving towards gold-backed, asset-backed currency instead of fiat. We watch the dinar, and that's why you hear majority of the conversation on it, because it is the easiest for us to track, and we know it's part of the gold treaty. So think of it as the canary down in the mine. When it dies, we know that there is gas in the air. Same idea. It's just an easy one to watch. And that's why we have so much talk of the dinar. We also have chatter, if you follow, and we've shared them over the years, chatter on the Vietnamese dong as they push for a higher value as well. But most of the talk, you're right, is on dinar because it is the easiest for us to track. We also keep an eye on CMKX because we know that is one of the things that has to be settled as we move into this reset. And it's easy because we have so many people that are part of that. Another thing we track is some of the prosperity packages, especially Omega, because we have so many people in the community that are part of the Omega prosperity package plan. So why you hear more about those than others is just because we know more people that are either shareholders, part of the prosperity program, hold dinar. We've got better contacts in the country. It's just easier to track that way. Let's see. I think I like this randomly clicking things. Morning all, crazy. Of course, it could be embarrassing at some point, but we'll see. Morning all, crazy. Cray morning. Arizona doesn't change clocks, but my boys wanted to go potty at 5 a.m. Oh, little ones. Oh, unless you're talking about like dogs or something. Oh, what is up with this clock thing? Ooh, I kind of like daylight savings. I just have to get used to it. T4TN. I'm not hearing that there is a limit on the number of Zim you get. All right, I'm going to bounce over, and then I'm going to dive into some news because we've got some interesting things in the regular world news. Let's see. I'm going to try, and it's always kind of a pain in the butt. I found it. There we go. JN Mom over on Rumble. I am typing to you. Look for me at Trolling News Network, JN Mom 3. We are on another channel and keeping it very light so we don't get banned completely. DJ Camp, thank you for coming to the rescue over there. I got to make it a point to check on you guys. Let's see. Rita Purely Living. If you have an account at Wells Fargo, perhaps call and ask if they have been training in QFS. If yes, what does Q stand for? Yeah, can't hurt to ask the bank. Most of them are going to give you a very dumb look because the average teller is not at that level of no. So I don't know how much. You will find the occasional one that is very plugged in and very up to speed, but they are far and few between. Florida Jeeper, make the move to Rumble, slowly doing it. Actually, Florida Jeeper, you'll like this week. I'm going to try to get a couple of Rumble-only streams after the morning coffee stream so that I can tell you what I actually think, especially because we have some interesting things. All right, now I'm off of Rumble for a minute, but we do have some interesting things this week. One, we did have the Kaboom ramping up Getters Band RT, or maybe Mike is correct and it's a tech thing. But we do over here. Let's see, YouTube over the weekend removed over 1,000 channels and 15,000 videos related to the war across a range of what they call policy violations, the company said. Given the United States, well, no, wait a minute. Let's move before that one. And anyways, you cannot minimize any of the death, destruction, war. You cannot talk about the possibility of biolabs, those things, or throw any shade in any direction on this because it will violate your terms, which to me is a dangerous, dangerous road to go down. Papa, Houston area is running out of cash one day. Cash only, next card only. Let's go. Bus so we can start the party. Fire up those ribs. Time to party. I like it. Papa Weaver, we got a couple of things on that front we'll talk about. Hold on here. Man, that coffee is exceptional. But on that front, you're only allowed to have certain discussions. I am debating whether or not we need to start each podcast out maybe with a glowing tribute to the intelligence of Joe Biden. Maybe a little skit on there about how evil Trump is, how great lollipops are, and how everybody should take 20 of them and line up. How, my God, nobody should ever want gold or silver. And that if you don't take the lollipop, you're absolutely going to die within probably 15 minutes. It's just going to be like, bam, you're going to be sitting here talking to me, perfectly healthy, taking your vitamins, living right, keeping your weight down, and you're just going to be gone because you didn't do it. So maybe if we start with some kind of satirical montage on that, we'll be good to go. And then we can talk about whatever we want, right? Mrs. Calipito got it. Calpito got it. But you almost have to go there in order to have any kind of free speech right now. Z Mustang Sally, thank you for that super sticker. J Mar pushing it here on that front, guys. And you all are more up to speed with the hidden meanings of things. So let's talk about this one straight out of the gate. Barack Obama tests positive for so we've got that in the news, right? And his big comment after testing positive, because all he has is a little bit of a scratchy throat. Michelle is fine. She is not tested positive. It's a reminder to get lollipopped if you haven't already, even as cases go down, he says. But you really should read this article from Fox. I don't know whether I should go ahead and give them, like Fox, a fanboy sticker for the former president. Because they certainly do just, fawn on him in this little piece. It's almost embarrassing by John Brown how much they do, how he's always been for it. You should be. This is what you need to do. If you had any questions on Fox, I think that one pretty much sums that one up. In case you guys didn't, let's see. And then it went too quickly. See if I can find this one. I will. Let's see. White Wolf said, I was told by the cardiologist that if I don't take it, that I'm going to die. I told him I don't have a heart, only pumping gizzard. We've got Bob Locke joining, guys. Get ready. Hello, Bob Locke.
Hey, how are you, Mark?
Oh, now that I got you, I'm fantastic. Now we got to be especially careful today. You know, we keep getting popped, so maybe we should focus on what we do when we go to the bank.
Well, you can stay in the mainstream on a day like today. I mean, let's just talk. Oh, excuse me. Went down the wrong pipe.
I think a piece of your lung just landed on my desk.
No, but if you just look at zero hedge. Excuse me.
All right.
If you just look at sites like Zero Hedge, Forbes, look at Fortune, articles about transitioning to asset-backed currencies. 6 weeks ago, we weren't talking about this. And same thing with a central bank digital point for the U.S.
Right.
Things are moving so quickly right now to transition the world economy from fiat to asset backed that it's just, to me, it's a whirlwind. And so, I mean, you don't even have to get into the craziness. You don't have to talk about Bobby Kennedy's book, which I got into deeper over the weekend, to see that there's momentous changes taking place. And so for us who are currency speculators, to see something like that, it should excite everybody. I mean, if you really have any questions as to whether or not this stuff is going on, all you have to do is look at that and think about the implications of gold and asset-backed currencies, because we're about to go into a hyperinflationary period that's going to be insane.
You actually bring up a great point, because that is. And when people ask me what's different, I keep pointing to Iraq and the government meetings. I keep pointing to the actual paperwork that's been filed at the UN for the change in some of these currency values. I mean, there's so much there that we can look at, but you're right, where you don't even have to. You can just look at the average everyday news. Russia's gone to a gold-backed digital that they're in prepared to roll out in the entire world, and I forget what they call it. I'm trying to remember. There's a term for it that they are releasing. And why would you want anybody else's currency if you can have a gold-backed blockchain technology that nobody can counterfeit, nobody can print extra? Forbes, you're right. We even had we've had Janet Yellen, and we've had, now I'm trying to remember, former head of the IMF. Her name will come like crashing. Christine Lagarde, talking about the need to move to asset-backed and back it up, of course, and do blockchain because it's more efficient. You're right. Regular news will show you how close we are and how much is changing in preparation for this.
Yeah. And so when I see people and they say, well, why would you speculate in currencies? Well, people have been speculating in currencies ever since multiple currencies existed, because there's always the abuse that certain types of people's human nature just makes happen, right? And you look at somebody like oh, there you go, I saw that this morning.
Yeah, and that article is actually 7-8 years old, as the BRICS nations had already inked a pact to mine gold. Now, this is gold that will not show up in, like, if you go to like gold, some of the gold reporting ones, it's not going to show up in their assets. But they seriously ramped up mining. Let's see, back in 2016 in preparation for this. In 2011 or 12, I was working with gold buyers and a buyer from Japan that was purchasing as they were preparing for this. But you got it right there in the news where you can look at it and you can see how they've been planning this thing for so many years and have methodically been bringing it to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. It's fun. All right. What? I mean, we could say here on world politics completely. Have you heard any positive news? What are you hearing? Any chatter? Are we closer? Is it today? Is it this week? Have you heard anything on that? I know they're going to want me to ask you that before we really move forward.
Sure. Well, it's interesting because the main people that I rely on to get valid information had been incredibly quiet, and they have done this from time to time. But I did talk this weekend, which indicated to me that things are moving forward. I always hesitate to look at anything and try to guess a particular day because there's too many moving parts. It's going to be there when it's there. But from the information I did gather, this is going to go during the month of March is what I've been told. And we've heard that before, so don't use it to ride the roller coaster up. It's a data point, but things are definitely moving.
No, there's undoubtedly. All right. Truth Lover asked me, how come all the big news TV broadcasters get to talk about and use the words that we get punished for? It's because they have pre-approved scripts. They're putting the proper spin on it. I can use all those words too, but I have to use them in the proper context that gives them credit. But they literally, and that's some of the interesting things conversations I've had with some of the folks that I went to college with, many, many years ago that are in the industry. They're told what they can and can't say. They literally have their talking points issued to them. So yeah, if I were willing to go there, I could talk about whatever I wanted, and I'd be wealthy.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. Well, and that's why they have those things, those memes out there that they do where you show 6 or 7 different news programs, and they splice it up, and they're reading the exact same script. Word for word. You could sit there and line them up. You could do 15 news channels, and you could go through it, and they're all saying exactly the same thing. It's conditioning. It's propaganda.
Oh no, it is, because you can. You get the same talking points. You can switch from MSNBC to CNN to ABC to CBS. You can bounce between all of them, and heck, even now, like during daytime, Fox. And shoot, even Newsmax to me is not anywhere what it should be. And you can. You get the same talking point with the same rhetoric. There's rarely even a word different in the entire spiel when they talk about bombing or anything else going on.
Yeah.
I like this. Wellness Abound, the real animal farm. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Penny wants to know, Bummer, can't what? Yeah, exactly. Penny, I will be back on YouTube as soon as I'm allowed. Well, actually, I'm on YouTube now. You just have to find me at Trolling News Network. A lot of people, Bob, because they took me off my regular channel. Actually, over one we did October 15th.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, they took me down this past week over one you and I did. We discussed. I went back and listened to it. We discussed an article in the news about a lawsuit having to do with, what happens when you go pick who you want to represent you. That process. We talked about one that the former, somebody that was president after Obama won. He won this, and we discussed it on that one, and they removed us for it. They gave us a strike. So gone for 2 weeks on the normal one.
Oh, God.
And now I got a notice over the weekend that they're going to crack. They're going to crack down also now on anything Ukraine. If I do anything to diminish the amount of violence that's going on, or if I cast any kind of shade on the reason they're there, then that is grounds to remove me as well. I can't even question the narrative. Do not question the narrative. There is even a posh piece, I don't know what you want to call this, a public opinion piece that they ran over the weekend. Actually this morning. Let me see if I can find it for you. You'll get a kick out of this one. New York Times, an unlikely hero. We look at how Volodymyr Zelensky became an unlikely global hero, talking about how just stellar comedian turned worldwide hero. I mean, it really is. The propaganda is in full. I don't know what you want to call it.
Oh, listen. Do you remember Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams?
Yes.
Okay, and in that movie, there were, everything had to be run through the Department of Defense censors and the screeners, and it was a pair of red-headed twins, and identical twins, and it was just a riot watching the way that they, just blocked through everything that he couldn't say, right? And then he had 5 words that he could say from whatever that, and it was all about suppressing news associated with the number of deaths and things like that going on in the war. Well, this weekend I was reading into that Robert Kennedy Jr.'s book, and the real Anthony Fauci. And honestly, it is just an incredible book. And talking about how Fauci, who's completely disappeared from the scene right now, how he plays that game. Okay, so what they're doing to you on YouTube, as an example, he's got different levels of control of the media and academia and big pharma, and so he can crush anybody. Take away your living, take away doctors' licenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these people now, I mean, because we're approaching the end game for them, and they're in danger of losing everything, so they're going to get desperate. They'll use this stuff, and it's more blatant and open now than I think it's ever been. They don't even try to cover it up.
No, they don't, and they don't need to, because the press is complicit. So I mean, they control what you get. So you ready for your solar storm that's hitting the Earth today? It's supposed to be a triple threat, like one of the biggest in decades. I think they're going to maybe use that as an excuse for credit cards not working. Who knows? Maybe systems down, internet's not working.
Well, I don't know whether it actually came to pass, but I heard last night that in the UK, people weren't going to be able to. Their credit cards weren't going to work today.
Yeah, I saw one on that one. Supposedly it is, well, in the UK, they're cracking down on, as everybody goes digital, where they try the double authentication. So if you're standing in a checkout line, of course, I've had this happen a lot here in the US over the last couple of weeks, where I've gone to make a purchase with my debit card and it won't take it at the store. And then I look at my phone and it has, hey, did you approve this? You hit yes, and then bam, suddenly it takes it at the store. Supposedly it's to make certain that you're not spending money anywhere that, if somebody's not spending it for you. I think it's more than that. I think it's to remind you that they are watching what you buy. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thunder Miner, they're going to shoot down more Starlink satellites. Janelle said that the U.S. Treasury is officially announcing rainbow currencies right now. I don't know where that is, but I will certainly be looking for that one. If anybody's hearing that, if there's some kind of announcement going on, share so I can get a link up for folks. All right. More importantly, Bob, what do we do if they call us right now? What do we need to have prepared?
Good question. So, generally, well, it depends. I mean, if there are a lot of people, and it's not just because they think that, setting up some kind of a legal structure to place your currencies into for the different benefits it provides. Some people they want to go in and exchange personally. And that's fine. They're not worried about whatever any possible tax consequences might be, et cetera, et cetera. And that's fine. And then you've got other people who want to have some privacy. And you've got people who understand that this is life-changing wealth and you need to treat it differently than you treat other investments in your life because its potential is so much larger. And those people tend to move towards the whole, Rothschild, own nothing, control everything, right? Teddy Kennedy, the Kopechne's got the waterlogged car because Teddy didn't have anything. Everything was in trusts. And so I recommend them, obviously. And I recommend them because in addition to privacy, you got, like in the case of Teddy Kennedy, limitation of liability, right? You've got a shield from liability. So, the ambulance chasers come after you when they realize that you've got a lot of money. Well, a lot of money. Your money's sitting in a trust somewhere and being managed and doesn't belong to you, so nobody can get to it. And then, of course, because it's no longer in your estate, then it doesn't have to go through probate like a will does. And there are no personal estate taxes, which can be up to 55%. None of those are assignable to the income from the trust, et cetera. And so if you've got one and it's set, then you've taken care of step one. But you have to. There's some other things that you should do as well, and things like getting a certificate of trust put together. And you know what? Certificate of trust is handy in a lot of situations. In a case like going in for the RV, it's not. The bank won't just accept it. It used to be if you had a certificate of trust and then the first page and the signature page of the trust indenture, and you handed that to a banker, you could open up an account for the trust, right away, and you didn't need an EIN or anything. But now you've got these really post 9/11 know your customer rules that require that they get a lot more information. So they say, I need to see the language of the complete trust. And they don't get to see the schedules and things like that. But, that's what they're going to ask for. And so be prepared to bring that with you. Make a copy of it and bring it with you. And don't bring the schedules, leave them there. But then it's handy to have a letter of authorization from the trust that says that you are the one, or whoever you designate is the one authorized to go in and open up accounts, make investments, and otherwise manage the finances of the trust. And if you've gotten that, plus your, obviously your identification, then you're pretty well set. And obviously for people that have projects, you're going to want to be prepared to do just a quick elevator pitch of your humanitarian or charitable projects that you want to get into, and at that point, you're good to go. You're in command of your ship, and the funds are protected, and you get set for your second appointment with the wealth manager that they recommend. Hopefully people have used the time that's going on right now to prepare themselves and start to do a little bit of research on where they're going to be living and where to find good, solid, professional help like wealth managers in that area, so that you're not delayed. And again, I don't say like you have to rush to it. That's not the point, because as I've often said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So you get through the appointment, and honestly, there's going to be a little letdown, because yes, now all of a sudden you're done, but you're no longer riding that roller coaster. You're riding a different roller coaster, right? And now you're sitting there and thinking about, okay, now I've got this wealth, and now I have to manage it, and your focus is going to shift.
I just, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a complete, people are going to be like, well, what now? I mean, because we built to for this point. Um, somebody commenting on the shirt. Friend sent me this shirt when my daughter was looking for colleges. Actually sent me a number of them. Super former firemen in Indiana. Sent me some Hoosier gear. Yo. I'm a Duke fan, which I'm almost embarrassed to say here of late. With their politics have fallen completely off, including putting a atheist in charge of their seminary school.
Well, of course.
I mean,
who else would you?
Yeah, right.
Hey, so you know how they came up with the term Hoosier, right?
No.
It was a big bar fight in South Bend, Indiana, and after they were cleaning up, and the waitress reaches down on the floor and she picks this thing up and she holds it up to the bar and said, "Whose ear is this?"
All right. Ba-da ding.
That was actually Mike Royko, a classic Chicago columnist, political columnist from back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to you living on the West Coast now, Bob, that I forget you're from that area. You're from that Chicago, Southern Illinois area, so you're up to speed on these. That is for certain. Ed wants to know, what's the reason for an NDA?
So the NDA is really to protect you more than it is to protect anybody else. Okay, because it's that classic. Loose lips sink ships, right? And many a slip between cup and lip. You're going to be really, really excited. And some people are going to be of the personality where, they've been telling people that are close to them, and those people have told them that they're nuts. And so now they're going to feel compelled to wave it in their face. And that's not in your best interest. And so the NDA, it's not going to be extensive, and it's reasonable because the details that you're going to be required to keep to yourself, things like what rates that you got and different parts of the process that you went through, et cetera, those things are nobody's business. And you got to remember, in this time of society, all right, where we are, there's a lot of people who are on the edge, and it's not going to take much to push them over the edge. And, think about all the true believers out there, right, for the jab. It's like this one friend, and, she's really gone off the deep end. She was celebrating the fact that don't have to wear the divine rag. This was 2 weeks ago on Monday when Chicago said, okay, we're going to take off those mandates. And then she ended her message with hashtag get vaccinated and boosted. And I was like, okay, people like that, when they realize that the systems have changed, and when they realize those people who you tried to tell about this, okay, and they laughed at you, when they realized that you were right, all right, they're going to be pissed off. It's not going to be pretty.
No.
And so, you don't want those people. You want those people to know as little as possible about all of this. These are people who would pass up opportunities on a regular basis unless it was something that, well, anyway, it's just, human nature being what it is, right?
That and this one is probably a good one to highlight. Somebody wants to know, what have you heard about how they'll handle things if Iraq goes solo? And that is another good reason for an NDA. If they go to their near exchange or near near something nominal rate or nominal. Anyway, I'm forgetting what the other E stands for. But they would absolutely need one if they're going to pay us a contract rate and they're only going for $1.50 in the country. That NDA would become absolutely critical or there would be serious unrest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the currency markets would be insane.
No, absolutely. And the people, understandably so. Trying to see what NJN. I was a bit of a Carolina fan growing up. The family was, and then I went to one game as a probably 17ish or so. And the Carolina fans, are the reason I was no longer a Carolina fan. They were such obnoxious, stuck up, entitled a-holes that I could not associate with that any longer. And I got a lot of friends that are big Carolina fans, so I give them hell for it, and they give me hell too. All right, a side note there. Bob, do you have a favorite college?
You know what, buddy? This, to me, is the best time of the year. I just love it. And I've been watching any time that I could. I'd watch college basketball. I stopped. What do I want to say? I started boycotting the NBA when the assistant coach for San Antonio was silenced and almost lost his job because he supported, I think it was Hong Kong at that point. I don't even think it was Taiwan. Really wasn't on the radar. And all of the NBA players, particularly LeBron, got up there and licked the boots of Communist Chinese Party. And so I stopped watching them, and that made college even more fun than it normally was, because it was, it was the best option out there. And I think I had problems with the transfer portal for a long time, but now I think that it has made for the strongest NCAA field in history. It's going to be remarkable. So I love. My dad played for DePaul. So they're a definite underdog if they got in. My daughter went to Marquette, loved their stuff, and I played some at University of San Francisco. So they're another underdog that could do some damage in there. And then you've got all the Big Ten, which I watched all year long. So it's just it's exciting to me.
I have not watched an entire college game all year, which is unusual for me, because normally I can tell you I watch pretty much every Duke game of the season. But to me, it's just been so many bigger, more important things going on in the world as it is coming to a head and a culmination. Don't get me wrong. I think I need to take some time out and watch a game and let my brain relax. I'm too tied up in it.
It's therapeutic.
It is therapeutic. Checking out, whether that is reading a science fiction rag, whether that is reading an old Western. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are into romance novels. I'm not. I don't need that much woke in my life. But you do. You need to check out. You need to let that brain put this all on a shelf for a minute, because this we're going to fight this fight. The battle's going to happen, whether you worry about it 24/7 or not. So. Yeah, take a little downtime. Watch a game, read a book, take a walk.
You have to. Well, I mean, if you've used your time, all right, wringing your hands and looking for that last tidbit of information, afraid that you're going to miss the notification, you need to take a breath. You can't, like I said, you can't ride that roller coaster of emotions. It's just not healthy. It's not healthy physically. It's not healthy emotionally or mentally. And so, having that has just been, like when I'm making dinner or whatever, having that on and be able to watch it. It's therapeutic to me.
Yeah, definitely. I love this one, Antonio. I passed a bill in the middle of the night. No more taxes. I like that. And then Judith had asked the question, so are you filing an extension for your 21 taxes? I know it's kind of personal, but...
Yeah, I don't talk about taxes with people.
Safer not to.
Hey, thanks, Antonio.
Yeah, thanks for passing that bill, Antonio. We do appreciate you. Absolutely. Melissa, take downtime. I refused to even sit in my desk chair yesterday. I mean, it means I'm going to have 2,000 emails to not even read, just to erase from the weekend. Hopefully nobody said anything that's important to them, because, well, It's just too overwhelming. But yeah, I made that decision yesterday morning. I was got up and I was like, going through everything that's got to get done today. I mean, got to get done this week. And I was like, man, I need to get in there and get to work. And I was like, nope, not doing it. The world can go to Hades and back. I am going to take that day and check out. I used to do that every weekend, like Friday afternoon at 2:00. I would shut down the email, shut down the text, and I would not respond until Monday morning. And I probably need to get back to something like that, just for my own sanity.
Well, yeah, because you get into that, where you see yourself, pounding away on the keyboard at 10:00 on a Sunday night.
Introducing
you gotta be strategic in terms of giving yourself a chance to decompress.
Yeah, Unredacted said I never work on Sundays. You would think growing up that way I'd be better about it, but I am. I'm going to do whatever it takes to claim that back. Something's got to give. I mean, we're going to get there. Life's going to be fantastic. We're not fighting to victory. We're fighting from victory. We've already won this one. We're just watching it all play out, and I've got to somehow get that back in my head. And God's got this on Sundays.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's see. Silver disgusting C-19 propaganda. It's from all of them. It's disgusting. And now the Pfizer CEO, even though no scientist has come out, even though we've seen the efficacy drop completely through the floor, comes out this weekend and says, yeah, a fourth lollipop is necessary. For what?
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, I don't mean to beat this to death, but I read that real Anthony Fauci, and this system has been built like this for a while, and it's just been used in a softer sense. But he created this system to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. He gets kickbacks all over the place. All these people in the FDA and NIH and NIAID, et cetera, et cetera. It's just this cesspool of corruption, and they keep it going by controlling the media, controlling the narrative. And if you step away from the narrative, and he perfected this during the AIDS crisis, which was when the CDC AIDS was originally looked at like a cancer, and so the agency that was in control of cancer research, they had the funding for anything that was going to go on with respect to AIDS. And Fauci, was very, very manipulative, and he got it transferred over to the NIH and CDC, and that's how he developed his power. Was by pushing things like AZT, which is just one of the most noxious, poisonous chemicals in the entire world, and really crushing any dissent from the orthodoxy that HIV causes AIDS. And then doctors in the field are saying, well, wait a minute, I got people over here with AIDS and they don't have HIV, and they just destroy their careers and make sure that they never got funding for the research and stuff like that. But the way that they control the media is something that is really scary, and we all need to watch that, because that whole thing now, get vaccinated, hashtag get vaccinated, get boosted.
Yep. We're not saying that V word.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Absolutely, go get it now. Joe is brilliant.
I mean, my mom, I have a nephew, and he wouldn't let anybody see his kids unless they got jabbed. And so my mom, the great grandmother to his kids, she went and got it, and I took her for the booster, and she said, I did all this, and he never even brought the great grandchildren over. And he's in the whole research, the Fauci principal investigator kind of a society. But she said, that's it. I'm never letting them put anything else inside of me. And you look at some of the most some of the biggest web searches out there are for detoxifying from the jab.
A lot of them, even mainstream. Well, how do I detox from these prickly proteins?
Yeah, the spikes. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see now. Yeah, starting to do commercials about Ukraine and how they need our donations. Interesting one over the weekend. Of course, this is coming out of the same place. We've got Russia strikes military site near Poland. Significant escalation, dozens dead. And they give the name of, let's see, what do they call it? Oh, the International Center for Peacekeeping and Security. The barracks there were bombed. Okay, now this sounds really cool. Russia attacked the International Center for Peacekeeping and Security. This sounds like, oh my God, he just blew up puppies and my grandmother. And then we find out what this center is actually is a volunteer fighter military base where they train volunteering fighters from other countries. U.S., Iran, just from around the world that have come on basically as hired mercenaries in order to fight for Ukraine. But they term it for your press as, once again, the what did they call it again? The International Center for Peacekeeping.
For peace and love.
For peace and love. Brotherly. It's all about the brotherly love as we shove an anti-tank missile up your,
Exactly. Just lay there quietly while I beat you.
Yeah, just lay there quietly, yes, exactly, while I beat you to death. And take all of your dollars and enslave your family and your children. Hey, no worries, just take it. But I do. Just watching the full-blown international propaganda machine ramp up, it tells you how entrenched it already is, that they were able to spin every bit of this thing since even before it started, as they prepped you. And now, of course, they're prepping us for biological warfare. And they started weeks before this. They started telling us that Russia was going to do a false flag with it. I mean, it is unreal, the efforts they have gone to. Hey, look, whatever side is the guilty or the not that it's ever that simple, because no matter what, when you hear one story, one side, the other side, it's always somewhere in between is the actual truth.
Well, yeah. You know what? And at the end of the day, you've got a situation where people are looking around, and there's people that actually believe this stuff, that they're saying, my energy bill doubled in January because Putin invaded Ukraine in February. And they spew that stuff. There's no critical thinking anymore. No critical
Zero.
thinking. It's a lost art.
We have watched, matter of fact, we've watched prices escalating since, November before last. And that's when fuel started just running right after that fateful November day. But now we're supposed to believe that 100% of it only came here. Matter of fact, let me get this one up here. This one, as we look at the consumer price. Oh man, this thing is, let me get this computer under control. I've got happy fingers going on here. U.S. consumer price year on year. We can look at it and we can clearly see exactly when it started shooting up. And it started shooting up in January, like literally early January of 2021. It didn't just start shooting up at the end of February when Russia and Ukraine. But this is what we are supposed to say, that, oh my God, politicians can't help it. I mean, it has nothing to do with what they have done for decades. It has nothing to do with runaway spending or voting on bills in order to be able to see what's even in them. You got to pass it first. It has nothing to do with any of those things.
But it's a net positive, because at this point, the number of people who don't accept the whole Putin-Ukraine narrative as causing is the root cause of the inflationary cycle that they're going through, right? I mean, these are people that, honestly, you're making a choice between, I can only get a half a tank of gas because I got to buy some groceries so I can make dinner. It's, people aren't believing it. And the more that they try to spin that narrative, the more people realize that they're just full of it, and have, started to look at alternative explanations outside of the narrative. And that's healthy. We need more of that.
No, we do. Now, because I just noticed time and we are getting crunched on that one, but I've got a couple of quick things that I really want you to touch on. One, do you think that most redemption centers are going to have private bankers or wealth managers on site, or do you think they're going to roll you in, hand you cards for them, maybe have the wealth manager there, not to necessarily talk to you, just for a meet and greet, so he or she can shake your hand, or they, or whatever the pronoun is, can shake your hand, say, hey, when you are ready, if you need those checks, you're going to buy a car, a house, or whatever, here's my card, call me directly, we will make it happen. How do you think that's going to happen?
You know what? It's going to depend on a lot of things. I mean, some of the stuff is going to be, where we are in terms of the sickness. It might be a Zoom introduction. Just, hey, this is Tom, this is Mary Jane. They're wealth managers with Abbott Downing or whoever, and they'd like to talk to you, like to help you with anything that you need, that kind of a thing. Or it could just be the standard, the old standard of, here's their business card. Give them a call and tell them I sent you, and consider them for your wealth manager. So I don't just because of efficiency needs at the redemption centers, I'd honestly be surprised if there are wealth managers on site, but it wouldn't, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not. Yeah, I think there's an excellent chance. Maybe would make more sense for them to give you an educational video. Hey, at this, we're just going to take care of getting your exchange in. Watch the video. These are our wealth managers. This is their track record. And, here's the information. They give you a card. You watch that and you go in and you do your redemption. Hey, it's in your account. Here's your debit. Take care. See you soon. That's what makes the most sense, rather than to put wealth managers in there to shake each and every hand. Just in today's world, it wouldn't make much sense. You're right. Skip, gas is so expensive. Even Tom Brady had to come out of retirement. I just, that was awesome. But now, before we let you out of here today, Bob, Susie asked a great one. Can Bob speak about is there anything going on with Anna? Anything moving forward on that one? Have you spoken with her recently? Anna Von writes, for those that are not familiar with who we're speaking to on this, Bob has been a part of that push to use the common law court system to bring some sanity back and break the grip of the bar and the illegal bankers and lawyers and whatever. So any movement on that one at all?
You know what? There's a lot of stuff going on. I keep in touch with a lot of state coordinators and people that work with the different assemblies. She's been the last time I talked to her, she's just been up to her eyeballs in establishing a bank and doing it outside of the fiat central banking system. And it's been a real battle. And so I don't reach out to her unless I really want to know something, or so she's moving forward on a lot of different things. We've talked about my going back up to Alaska with another group of people and working on some joint projects and things like that. I tell you what, Mark, I mean, Anna Von Reitz she is one of I think she's the hardest working person I have ever known in my life. And I come from good, European American Midwest stock, right? Where, work ethic is everything. And I've never seen anybody. She's a prolific writer, and she's dealing with some incredibly important issues that 99.9% of the people don't know anything about. And I just, I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it, and I work, a slow week for me. I may only work 75 hours or so, and she makes me look lazy. So that's And I am pretty much a machine when it comes to work. I'm not afraid of it. It helps me define who I am. That may be my own personal issue I need to work through and get counseling for, but
yeah, right.
It's a family thing. We all have it. It's a heck of an issue. All right, we need to start wrapping up. Anything you want to talk about before we let you go?
When you just talked a minute ago about the wealth, the wealth managers and the redemption centers, one thing I wanted to say to people was, understand. To me, one of the most valuable things that you're going to encounter as you walk out, of that portal after your exchange, you're gonna find out that whoever you go with in terms of banks, wealth managers, corporate trustees, that kind of thing, the amount of education that they offer, all right, is something that I encourage everybody to take advantage of. So you've never had this much in terms of having liquid assets, a significant amount, and so a certain percentage of people are going to be deer in the headlights because they've never managed anything like that, but they want to keep control of it because they know that the less control they have, then the more chance that there's going to be that they're going to lose it sooner than they would want to, right? And the educational materials that they have, the courses and on finance, on investment, all those different things are just on insurance, products, things like that. That the information that they provide for free, if you're a client of theirs, is impressive, and you need to take advantage of it. Just like I've said, right now we need to take advantage of this time to get yourself prepared. So get out there, go to my Telegram channel and look at the documents that are pinned up on the top of that. Go to Seeds of Wisdom and look at the educational resources that are out there to help you get prepared for the Redemption Center, because there's a ton of stuff the majority of it is free. And you get into some deep detail, and the stuff that does cost, it's either $1 or $10, depending. And that I donated that to Seeds of Wisdom long ago to use for, Okie and other people in the community that need help. And so take advantage of that stuff now while you're in this time. And so you're not walking in there like a deer in the headlights, that you're prepared, that stuff is taken care of. Now, you're going to go in and you're going to sit down and you're going to open up a bank account. Okay. So take a breath, because if that intimidates you just because there's a lot of money involved, then you need to get a hold of yourself and ground yourself and realize that what we're doing here is we're going in and we're opening up a bank account. We're putting foreign currency into it that we have been speculating on, and we're exchanging it for U.S. notes. All right. And that's all that's going on. There's nothing magical, nothing mystical. It's, top secret, anything. That's how simple it's going to be. And so, if people do that and take that advice and use this time to go out and educate themselves and get themselves prepared, then getting through the Redemption Center is going to be a breeze.
No, absolutely. All right, Bob, thank you for joining. I think it's time for me to start singing some happy birthday songs and call this a wrap.
No problem. I got to get to work, buddy. Hey, it's always a pleasure. I'm glad we did this.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
See ya.
All right. The illustrious Bob Locke. Couple, I know we got U-Turn, Nancy, anybody else on the birthday part? Let's sing that one and put it in the books. Bear with me. This is allergy season for me. Starts middle of March and goes heavy for me until about May 1st. Carolinas are tough on the allergies. Grass, pine pollen, oak pollen, you name it. They flat beat me up this time of year. That's an oak tree, Dan, right outside the window. Actually, I am surrounded by oaks. I live in an oak forest. I think maybe one popular out there. A couple of elm varieties, and that's about it. I am like covered up. I don't even have like many maples. It's like oak central. I could be like cutting it down and making an oak log cabin in the yard. There you go, Booger, the penguin song again. All right, let's do this one. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love. Make all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. For all you celebrating, enjoy it. And definitely prayers for Amanda. Kidney surgery, thank you guys for praying. Anybody else? Definitely never hesitate to put your prayer request over there. We got some great people here and some phenomenal warriors. All right. See you guys at 7 unless there is breaking news.